Welcome to Liz McMullen's show. I have Layce and Saxon on. They rocked my world previously in a joint interview, and then Layce knocked it out of the park with a reading for Lizzie's bedtime stories, and I'm stoked to have them back.
Hi, Liz. Hi, Liz.
Hi.
Lizzie, we're trying to make our voices as soft and sexy as yours. Hi, Liz. Your voice is so, silky. I'm afraid you're, hypnotizing me and I don't know it.
You're getting very funny.
You are getting very funny.
Teeny, and I'll start clucking like a chicken or something. I don't know why.
You'll just go and one of you will say to the other, "Damn that Liz." Damn that Liz and her serpent tongue.
That's what she said. Yeah.
So instead of us getting into a little literary hootenanny, we will start by listening to Layce read from their sassy new series.
Yes, this is called Worst in Show, a Jamie Bravo mystery. And we're actually going to do a whole series of these Jamie Bravo mysteries, and this is the first one. And I don't think I really have to set this up too much other than to tell you that Jamie Bravo is a brand new private detective. And she has a girlfriend named Veronica that she keeps trying to break up with who doesn't know how to take no for an answer. So she has to break up with her all the time. That's all that you really need to know. So I'll start reading now. From Chapter 7. I'm a proud member of the typical Italian-American family. We yell a lot. We cry a lot. We eat a lot. The only reason I don't weigh 500 pounds is because I got the skinny gene from my father. My mother, Bella Bravo, is a big woman. When she hugs you, you know you've been hugged. She wears her plus size like a sexy negligee. I don't know an Italian man around who doesn't have the hots for Bella Bravo. It also doesn't hurt any that she's the best cook in the whole city. My pa, Eddie Bravo, is what you call a ladies' man, meaning he attracts, but he does not act. Ma would kill him if he did. He's got thick black hair and eyebrows to match. He has a gruff exterior, but in reality, he's a softie. It's Monday night, so that means I'm at the dinner table eating Ma's famous spaghetti and sauce. Pa is hoovering in the noodles, but that doesn't stop him from talking. So, work's good? I nod. I can't eat and talk at the same time. Last time I tried that, a noodle came halfway out my nose. And I sat at the table trying to decide whether to suck the noodle back down or to pull it out when Pa reached over and yanked it out for me. Let me tell you, tomato sauce in the sinus cavities hurts like hell. I finished chewing and tell him about the Friedmans and my case for Veronica. Pa slurps the last noodle off his fork and says, "You say you're looking for a Jew and a Hyman?" I nod again. "Yeah, I once knew a Jew named Hyman," Pa says. "Jaime for short." "Edward," Ma scolds. "What? It's true," he says. Ma shakes her head in disgust and tells him, "Basta, and wipe your mouth." She looks at me. "Here, have another piece of bread." She puts the bread on my plate. "You're too skinny." I look at the bread. "Where's the garlic? How come you two get garlic bread and I don't?" "Just in case," Ma says. "Just in case what?" "You know, in case you want to kiss somebody special later this evening. You don't want garlic breath." "Oh, by special, do you mean a vampire?" I say. Ma frowns. "I mean Veronica." Same difference. It's not bad enough that Veronica won't take no for an answer. Neither will my mother. She loves Veronica. I have a sneaking suspicion that she just wants a lawyer in the family. "Can't say my job was ever that interesting," Pa says, snagging another piece of garlic bread out of the basket. Pa used to work for the city. He was a garbage man. He retired last year. "Well, all in a day's work," I say. "So when's the last time you saw Veronica?" Ma asks. See, this happens a lot at the dinner table. I carry on 2 conversations at once, one with my mother, another with my father. "Today, as a matter of fact, she sent you her love." That's a lie. Veronica never thinks of anyone other than Veronica, and she never sends her love anywhere. The Jew won't be too hard to find, Pa says. Did you check the attic? Basta, Ma says, taking the extra piece of bread off his plate. She continues her conversation with me. I still think you and Veronica are perfect for each other. She always does this. She waits until my mouth is full before saying something I might disagree with because she knows I can't talk back. The hymen will be harder to find, Pa says, pointing his fork at me while reaching for a second helping of spaghetti. They're like Bigfoot. Everybody's heard of them, but nobody's ever actually seen one. Mom moves the spaghetti bowl away from him. I already found Mr. Friedman, I say. He jumped the pond. Mrs. Friedman's on her way to London to collect him right now. How will she find him? London's a big city, Pa says. Now, I sometimes wonder if he's going to do the same thing one day, just up and leave. Ever since he retired from the garbage business, he's been antsy. He spent 40 years picking up trash, and now he doesn't know what to do with himself. I already found him, I say. The travel agent he booked the flight through also booked his hotel reservation. Not too smart, is he? Pa says. Don't you be getting any ideas, mister, Ma says. Who, me? Pa throws me a wink. I would never. Ma puts a second helping of noodles on my plate without me asking. Looks like I'll be going to the gym later. How will you find the hymen? Ma asks. Pa chuckles. I stole your mother's hymen. Isn't that right, Bella? In the back seat of a Basta! I shout, clapping my hands over my ears. That's right, Eddie. You sure did. Ma leans across the table and lays a big smooch on Pa. He reaches around and grabs her butt. I turn away from the spectacle and continue eating. That's the other thing about being Italian-American. We're a touchy-feely group. And that's it. End of chapter. That just gives a little taste of Jamie's background and her family and what's going on. And Jamie.
My family, obviously, my last name's Irish, but my mom's side is Croatian, and they actually serve similar food. So the Italian food and whatnot. I saw this meme on Facebook the other day, and it had this huge table covered with like antipasto, like, you know, sliced meats, cheeses, everything I could think, like enough to feed about 70 people. And it says, you know, just a little something for, you know, before dinner.
Exactly. I lived with some Italians or one Italian man in LA for about 5 years. And he was this, he was about 65 at the time. When I moved in with him, I was like 28. And he was like my surrogate father. He was a playwright, and I acted in his play. And then when I needed a place to stay, he rented me his bedroom. And I love that man. He's the man who got me to actually start writing. He told me to start writing instead of acting. He was Lenny Bruce's writer back when.
Hot damn.
I know. And he was also, and he actually, to make his living, he wrote soft porn. And he had some of the funniest stuff. He would make porn as a musical. His big thing, and that he lived off of for years because it made so much money, was it was like a soft porn, but it was porn. Cinderella. And he had somebody else write like the music for it, but it was a musical soft porn Cinderella. It was hysterical. But anyway, he was Italian, and so I was around him, and he always had, like I talk about, all the Goombas and all of this. I got all of the flavor from him. But he had a lot of mafia connections too that used to hang around the house all the time. You know, here's Fat Johnny and Big Freddie and like.
You can't throw a dead cat without bumping into one of them if you live in because
here's pineapples and here's all these weird names.
No, I mean like in Hoboken and all these other, New York City, Brooklyn, Staten Island, all the same. Pretty much the same deal. People come off the boat, they come here, they do their thing. So it's almost impossible not to know somebody. But the funniest thing that ever happened in Hoboken, there was this, at the time the guy was under 30, and he got elected mayor of Hoboken, which was really impressive. And then, not even a full month into his job, he got caught taking a bribe at the Malibu Diner.
Uh-oh.
Which is it's like the only diners in town, and it's very public. There's nothing hush hush about it. I was like, you are such an amateur that you don't even finish your first month of office and you get like impeached.
Yes.
You got to have talent for that. I heard a rumor that Saxon was in the room.
Yeah. Wait, Saxon? What? What? I am.
Saxon, I heard another rumor that you wrote a shitload of books over the years.
Yes.
I read a bunch of them too. I actually bought your whole back copy. I think it was about maybe 4 years ago. I just bought the whole lot.
Oh wow. Damn.
Because that's how I rolled back then. Like two things. I like to read, if it's a series, I like to read things in sequence. And if it's an author I like to start with the book that they wrote the furthest time away up to the present. Because that's how I roll.
Okay, tell Liz our most exciting new news.
Oh, well, we bought our back catalog. And so now we are dusting them off and fixing them up. And Lacey's putting new covers on them. And we are going to be re-releasing them once a month until we're done. So it's her back catalog and my back catalog. So we just put out...
So we own all the rights now to all of her work we've ever done.
Yeah. So now we put Love Over Moon Street out last month, and we put A Perfect Romance for her out this month. So we've had a really good time with it.
You know, I had this twinness of sensation. When I was reading this book, the one that, the Bravo book, I sensed both of you in it. One having the pickler, the pickle heiress.
Yes. See, you're smart. You know what? You start seeing common themes. And we actually will put, we do the pickle thing just to amuse ourselves. And like, can we put a pickle in every book?
Because I think was it Back Talk? Was that the name of the book with the radio?
Yes, she's a pickle heiress.
Oh my God, I need a gold star because I have not read or seen that book in a very long time. And
You're good. That's one of my favorites of Saxon's.
I loved it. I loved how crazy that house was and all of what was going on and how un-heiress like the heir was. And then when I was reading, I was thinking about tats. When I was reading about the way that this poor woman is being led by her boxer briefs, like she's all firm and deciding that she's not going to be in a relationship with this person and she's going to break up with them. And then, there's a scene where she shows up panty free and straddles her and pulls her pants down around her ankles. And she's just like, I'm human.
Oh yes, okay.
And it made me think of tats because there's that straight woman that's turning that poor butch into knots. I'm just like, so we get the coochie from what I remember.
You can teach a class on us. You'll know it all.
I know.
You'll be able to talk about our constant themes and things like that we have throughout it. You'll be able to do it.
Did you yeah, I think you're one of the Afternoon Delight offenders.
Yes, you said that.
Oh my God.
We have, I put that in here, but we have a short story too titled Afternoon Delight. It's one of our eroticas that we wrote.
What's so fun. Yeah, right.
I don't know how soft it is. None of our erotica is very soft. But that's what she said.
Hoochie. The reason why I noticed it is a few years back I was interviewing Carson Tate for the Cocktail Hour. At the time, I was not writing. I didn't, and the Cocktail Hour only recorded twice a month, so I had time. So I actually read her whole body of work right after the other, and I noticed that she used Afternoon Delight in each book, and I teased her about it, and I asked her if her latest book was going to have it as well, and she's like, I think it does. And so every time I see Afternoon Delight, I know that she's putting it in there for me. Because I have that song. I'd never known the song until I watched Good Will Hunting, and so every time I hear it, Afternoon Delight.
See, I was like 14 when that came out, like maybe 13 or 14 when that song came out. I remember listening to it and thinking it was so nasty. It was such a nasty song. And I was like, I'd always get a little embarrassed listening to it.
You want to know embarrassed? I saw Dirty Dancing with my mother when I was a tween. That is embarrassing.
That's a topper.
It was so awkward.
Let me tell you a really quick story. And I thought about writing a blog about this. I just haven't done it yet. Okay, around the same time, I'm like 14. And remember that song, Undercover Angel? Mm-hmm. Undercover Angel, Midnight Fantasy. I can't sing, but I used to just lay in bed and daydreamed about that song, a little 45 I had on a record player. And I loved that song. And then I always thought, if I could just meet Alan O'Day, he's the one who sang it. If I could just meet Alan O'Day, I'd probably marry him when I grew up. Okay, now let's flash forward to I'm 29, living in West Hollywood. And the guy that I was telling you about, the Italian guy, his name's Frankie. He would take me to all these like gatherings. And we went to this birthday party for somebody. And this little man, okay, I'm pretty tall, I'm like 5'10". This little man came walking up to me and he started like flirting with me. And I actually said to him, just get away from me, Buster. And he looked just like Woody Allen. I swear to God. He was like this little Jewish Woody Allen. And finally, I said, what's your name? And he said, Alan O'Day. And I almost.
Oh, did you spew on your sneakers?
And I was like, I'm like a foot taller than him. But I talked to him. He was a really nice guy. But he kept asking me out, and I was like, I'm a lesbian. You should have contacted me when I was 14, because I would have been all yours. But I just thought it was interesting. And then he told me, I was like, what all have you done? I know Undercover Angel, but he wrote a ton of Cher songs.
Huh.
It's really big.
So I heard another rumor that you guys started your own imprint. And there was a reason behind it. And mostly because there's not a lot of place for comedy in the awards for lesbian fiction.
Yeah.
There's a place for comedy every fucking where as far as I'm concerned. But that's one shortcoming that we don't kind of recognize that or know how to market it. And then the two of you started your own company and have been quite successful at marketing it. And tell us more, biatches.
I think it was just, we needed a place to put our stuff. So when you can't find a place, the best thing to do is make your place. So that's what we, ultimately ended up doing. And I think the reason that we've been more successful when we took control of things is because we write better jacket copy, and we really tell the reader what it's about. So they're not being misled that this is a traditional romance when it's not a traditional romance. And so what we've done is we've actually just created our own little circle of fans, and that has really helped. So that's pretty much why we ended up doing that kind of thing. I think, like with the GCLS or whatever, is I wonder if they are concerned that there aren't enough comedy writers. But, when you start looking around, there actually are an awful lot of us.
Well, I know Anne McMahon's hella funny.
Robin
Alexander's.
It's out there. I think, GCLS is growing. It's certainly something that I'll probably see if
okay, if you're just talking about the awards, what would the category be? Just comedy?
I would say humor makes more sense because it would cover more things.
And then take everything from nonfiction to fiction to mystery to romance to whatever and just lump it all in the comedy. I tried to think of, if I were them, what would I do? And I honestly don't know. We published 3 books this past year. And so we submitted them all, and they're all nominated in the GCLS, but we just put them where they go. Now, our book, Gigolo Girl, which is about, it's a satire is what it is. And it's a satire about this girl from Texas that goes off and becomes a gigolo for lesbians. We put that in traditional romance.
See that? Yeah, the thing...
Because it's the only place it fits. It is a romance, but traditional, no.
When it comes to a category... When it comes to what category something goes on, it has to do with what is the absolute predominant flavor of something. So if it was humor, whether it be nonfiction or fiction, it would probably all be in one group until, there's a reason to separate. Like there's one category that in general should have left each other is fantasy and sci-fi.
Yes, definitely.
So they need to.
Those are two different.
They need to stay friends but break up.
Yes, and I guess maybe once they get enough, it's all growing. But some of those categories really do need. There's, 50 to 70 in traditional romance. My God.
I feel for the judges who have to do that category. It's very challenging. So I have a question about your books. Are you guys pantsers? How do the characters come to you? Do they just show up on the stage, or is there some kind of crafting involved before you get started?
You want to take that, Saxon?
It's magic. Yeah.
Oh, I totally feel for that because I write paranormal. It's magic. Yeah. Okay, next question.
No, actually, we are not planners because we talked about this today. Mm-hmm. We try to keep our left brain out of the entire thing. It is a total right brain game for us, and it's totally gut and instinct until we hit the very end, the editing process. Then it's all left brain. We usually say, "Oh, we have an idea. How about if blah blah blah?" And it's like how I used to pitch movies in Hollywood. You give 2 or 3 sentences, mm-hmm. and if I say that, and then it really excites Saxon, then we just take it and start running with it. Now we know the beginning and the end.
Well, the middle too.
A little bit in the middle, like maybe the climactic scene that's going to happen, and that's it. And then it's just fun getting to those places. But we always know what it's going to. And the important thing, Liz, is we have a theme.
Mm-hmm. You have a brand.
Forever write without a theme. Is it love conquers all or something? There's a theme.
I know that Jessie Chandler, she writes some really, really funny mysteries. Like she has, they're not, I think cozy is such an offensive designation.
But it is kind of labeled as a cozy mystery.
Yeah, I understand. But I mean, there's peril and there's so much laughter and silly. And so I wondered where you guys came up with the idea of having a private eye. And, it's not slapstick comedy, but it's so flamboyant and fun. Where was this particular book and series born? Where did the idea come from?
I had Jamie Bravo around for a couple of years in my head. Remember? Yeah. And I would keep saying to Saxon, I want to do something. Jamie Bravo, this character just keeps coming back to my head and talking. And then I kind of latched into the Italian thing. But basically, Saxon, we want to do all the genres, is what I'm saying. We've got a science fiction coming out next in March or April. We're doing all the genres, but as comedies.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. And so mystery, we wanted to go into mystery. And I'm like, oh, well, let's just do she's kind of like Stephanie Plum.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Exactly. I wanted to do kind of a lesbian Stephanie Plum and just keep going on and on with it. I mean, she's got the crazy family. She's got the crazy characters that come in. She's kind of the normal one of the whole bunch. And the mysteries aren't going to be like super duper mysteries. No. It's more about the character, just like it is with Stephanie Plum. I mean, I'm going to leave those hardcore, scary mysteries to Decky and to people like that.
Have you guys... My dog just opened the door to the room that I'm recording in. Hi, Pumpkin! Hi, Quinn. Hello, I love you, fucker. I know. You love Mama and have to give her kisses. All right. So what I wanted to know was, once the two of you started writing together and found your own groove, do you write separate books, and how does that feel to write solo as opposed to co-authoring a book?
Saxon keeps looking at me like I'm supposed to talk.
No, I kind of
like you're supposed to talk.
I don't know, because it's been a while.
Since you wrote alone?
So, yeah. I mean, so it's... I don't know.
You remember, Liz, when I was talking to you and Sheila about how you should do it and how you should each, above and beyond anything else, to know your own strengths, but to also know your own weaknesses.
Mm-hmm.
And hopefully, if you two could fit together really well, you would have opposite strengths and opposite weaknesses.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of how Saxon and I are. She's really good, and we're not going to tell you exactly what, but she's really good at some things that I'm really bad at those things. And, well, I don't think really bad. and I'm not as good, and she's not as good at some things that I'm really good at. So that's how we mesh together. We just happen to mesh that way.
Yeah, we
thank God.
You know, I found co-authoring really comforting, because when you're stuck on a plot point, or you don't, does this really sound, what do you think? And it's this great collaborative process. And then by the time we finish, because, you know, obviously you spend a lot of months working on a project, and then when we finish, I'm like, however will I write alone? And then I was like, oh, I really want to write alone. And she's working on Happy Lesbian Housewife, and I'm working on Unspoken, which is a romance. And it actually feels good. Like once I got into the groove and started, you know, because our voices are very different when not together. And so I'm kind of excited about it. I'm enjoying it, but I also know that I want to go into the happy, cozy land that, you know, we joke that we're twins in another life, that it is to write together. It's very pleasurable, a lot of fun, but it's also good to do solo projects. But you guys live together, and, you know, you've got a groove going on. You have a listening.
We don't want to do solo projects. If Saxon said, I really have this book burning in me, I really want to write it myself, I'm go ahead. But we don't. We want to do, and Liz, my God, do you know how many books we have to write? We have probably 20 books. We've got the next 5 years covered. We work our ass off. We work like 40 hours a week on writing. I mean, that's together.
Yeah.
We work like 4 to 5 hours a day, 6 days a week writing.
She's such a taskmaster.
So that's like 8 to 10 hours once you say, you know, it's two of us. But we have so many ideas. I don't know that we'll ever get them written.
Well, the other thing, too, is that when writing, you know, with the two of us or whatever, it's a lot faster. I've noticed when that there are actually a lot in mainstream, especially, just a lot more books that have two writers. It's just like, so evidently it's either becoming a trend, or people are just, you know, deciding that, you know, if you want to be super, super prolific and you have someone that you mesh with, you can actually get a lot of stuff out there. Because really, when it comes right down to it, if you want to be a commercial success, you have to be prolific. You have to put out, you know, even a book once a year is still, you know, kind of stretching it, because people forget about you.
See, that was one of my major things about having a publisher. They'd only put out one book a year of mine, and actually they waited 16 months in between each of my books. And I'm like, people have friggin' forgotten about me now. I mean, 16 months.
Yeah, but that's 16 months that you could have been making money. See, that's one of the things that's so awesome about having your own company, is that you have total control over the fiscal part of it, over the exposure part of it, how many hours a day you want to write, and when you can put something out.
You know, I think the world has changed, the literary world has changed drastically with how well and successfully you can start your own imprint, self-publish, and, you know, if you can find your niche, if you can get the editing done well, and the covers are interesting, and the back copy is intriguing, and you have a following, go for it. You've found success. You know, people like Decky have found success. There's not, you know, there's a glut in the market, so not everybody's going to be instantly successful. Sometimes promoting yourself as a self-published author is an uphill battle, but, you know, it's really nice getting those monthly royalty payments. Isn't that nice?
Oh my God, yes.
It's just automatically deposited into your bank account, and it's just like, aren't you pretty little fancy little...
Do you know what has helped me? Since we're our own company now, what has helped me so much to get away from that? What kind of reviews am I getting? I don't even worry about that anymore. I go look at how many sales I have.
Exactly. And
it's
bottom
so much
line,
more uplifting than, does anyone love me?
Well, no, nobody loves you. They really want you to go away, and you and Saxon just need to break up and stop writing together.
Not going away.
That's another thing.
It's like Fatal Attraction. I will not be ignored.
Yeah, Glenn Close. I will not be ignored, Dan.
Don't you dare boil any bunnies on my behalf. I am going to have to cut this short, even though, you know, I could talk to both of you forever, ever. But I love having you on. And folks, if you want some serious belly laughs and some very tight writing, Layce and Saxon novels are the where to go.
And if you're a Kindle Unlimited member, you can borrow them for free on Amazon.
Yeah.
And will you do us on video if we ever meet up with you at a GCLS convention?
You betcha.
Yay! Yay! I'm going to hold you to that, baby.
I bring my camera with me. I do my author salon interviews at the con, which is a documentary series on lesbian fiction authors. So,
okay, I'll bring my rouge for my nipples.
Oh my God. And if you want to know what that is a reference to, you're going to have to watch the last interview that I did with them. And to be helpful in the Liz McMullen discussion group, I will post that link so you don't have to hunt around. Thank you two for coming on again.
It was
Thank
our
you,
pleasure.
baby.